Okay, now we are going to operate on this bill and make it smaller, just so that you can tell how to do it. You do the same operation if you were going to make it bigger. To start with, I'm going to decide where I want to cut it back at. Maybe not much, maybe just about yay much. Oh, you guys are so picky. Maybe that far. There. Whoops. There. Not much. Now I think that this is done closely enough that it probably will not separate. But I'm going to try a little bit first just to see. No, it's working. I'm not through the bottom. Pretty close though. Yeah, that's not bad. I'm kind of eyeballing it as I go. Well, not very close, was it? It's okay. See what we can do here. I don't think it's going to separate for me. Did a pretty good job of getting it together. Okay. I goofed over here. Made it too straight. Okay, now hopefully I'll fill it back out. Okay. So now we're going to take this under here, fuzzy side in. I want to make sure I cover everywhere the cut was. That'll work. Okay. I'm going to take this. Whoops. I'm going to come in at a slant and narrow this thick edge down. You see what I'm doing? Okay. Gotta make sure I'm still in the camera sometime. I do that, you know. Get out of the camera. Okay, that helps a little. Now, not making that mistake again. Now, since we aren't adding on to it and making it longer, we don't have to have much of a wisp. I'm going to take this part here that can help extend that. So it's rounded like this side. I'm going to roll this up over here. Push that in tight. Roll that over there. Out! Fingers! Watch the fingers. I'm telling you, and I'm not doing it myself. Okay. Okay, I need something to use as a backboard. Set, press, set, press, set, press, set, press. What happened to my own advice, huh? Sometimes you just have to hold it. Set, press, set, press, set, press. All right. Now we'll turn on the underside. Pulling it up tight. See how easy that was? Now adding on would be a little bit more. You'd want to put a piece out longer than your rim. And make sure it folded well under the part that you're working on. So if you wanted to extend this, you'd make sure that it comes well back under here and out over here, so it folds well back over here. And then you'd want to fill in this area in between those two to about the thickness you have of your rim. So you want to put extra pieces in there, hopefully smooth ones, because you don't want a bunch of bumps like that in the middle. Been there, done that. And then you do what we're doing now. Smooth it in. That's that. I'm going to felt this down into the hat real well, and then we'll start the color. Alright then, let's start with the coloring. I'm going to do the inside first. Now the colors I'm using are these two blues. They'll go nice together. And I'm going to start out with I think I'll start out with a darker color for the inside. And since my cats are not in here to help me, I'm just going to go ahead and pull off some pieces. Now, like I said, I am still learning. And one of the things that I learned is you don't put it, excuse me, you don't pull all these in the same direction. It doesn't work out. You end up having, when you go to fill it in, really finalize it with the needles, it'll separate into little columns. So you don't want that. You want it to kind of go across each other. Okay, so let's get some pieces ready to go here. It's easier for me if I have the pieces ready ahead of time. Anything really solid. Just going to take and lay one in there like that. Where's my pad? I'm just going to tack it lightly. Take another piece. Stick it on here. See, there's no big science to it. Get down there. Be nice. Be nice. There we go. Kind of a layer thing going there. Well, I like that particular swirl, so I want it on top. Kind of gent back together, didn't you? Let's spread you out a little bit here. All right, fine, be that way. See if I care. Yeah. Now, any places that are lighter on the inside around the edge, start there. That need a little more down there. Put a little puff across that. Put one around here. Wispy one across that. Fill up that hole. That's a good start on that. I don't want them falling down when I'm on the other side of the hat, so I need to kind of tack them in there. It's very annoying. Okay. Got pretty good coverage in there. Well, you guys brothers or something? You want to come together? Put that in the bottom. I'll lay you across here like that. Alright, see how this is going pretty fast, isn't it? Alright. Now, lay you across that, coming over this way. If I got a hole down in there I can see. Put you there. And there. Yeah, I'll save those little wispy bits for later. There we go. Once in a while I was holding it up to the light a little bit so I could see holes. See, there's a good sized hole right there. Ta-da, no hole. Alrighty. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, yeah, I can do that. I'll cross over from the inside to the outside. What I want to do okay. Crisscross. Crisscross. How about you? You need another little poop. Okay, you need another big poof. Right along there. Now I did the brim thicker than I did the inside with a lot of crisscross, because your brim's going to get, this is going to get touched a lot more than the inside, a lot more than your edges. So you want to make sure it's going to be very well reinforced. And in this case, we're reinforcing it with the color. Okay? Okay. So I'm going to go back, and I'm just going to keep beating it down until it is material. Until it is good and material. And then I'm going to use a light scarf. Like this. Get yourself a light filmy scarf or a filmy piece of material of any sort. Cover it up like you're wrapping around Christmas present. And that will be your plug. Go down the side. Okay? And this will keep it from messing up the inside too much, in case you didn't finalize it good enough. Because you're going to have that in there when you do the outside. So, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll be working on this. And when I get it all smooth inside, then I'll be back and we'll do the outside, okay? Okay guys, before we get going, take a whole bunch of the wool you're going to use for the outside and make your wisps. Get them all ready, open them up and make them ready, and then come back, okay? Okay, got your wisps out. Now all the insides that I kept out so they could roll over the side. Pulling them up. We're going to lay a little layer of this light blue right under where these wisps are going to go. And our one concern is we're going to make sure that it covers clear up to the edge. Now this part here is nice and thick, won't see anything through it. Give it a light tack. Take our next piece. See where it's lighter here? Lay that over the top of that. Let's see. Let's change this lighting around, shall we? Ah, that works. Bye, Cracky. Okay. It's a light tack so you can see where it's showing. See, it's showing along here. Put that down. This time I made lots and lots and lots of wisps. I wouldn't have to keep stopping. I probably will anyway, but not for a while. Okay. I'm going to do it a little bit more because it's going to be laying on this while I work on the other side of it. And as I tack it in, I can see a little bit better if I'm going to need another piece of felting on that. Seems to be doing pretty good. That's a little light right there, I think. Nah, it's okay. Remember when you're doing this around, pick it up and turn it, because if you just, otherwise you'll take your felting off the other side while you're working on it. Lift it and turn. Yeah, when you're felting down the inside and you think, I'm all done with it, you'll keep seeing thin spots. And that's where you get to add your little tiny bits of wisps and dabs and make it pretty. If you already have a swirl, you just add it to the swirl. Make sure it goes in the same direction. Nobody will know you put any little dibs and dabs in there. Looks like everything you did was on purpose. Pre-planned. And the truth is, the only thing you actually pre-plan is what color you're going to use. That's about it. Everything else is subject to change without notice. Okay, now I'll work my way down the edge of the bill. Whoops. You know, since that sticks down there, I don't really need to do that right now. I'm going to start working on the crown. Okay. So now I need you to be a little tighter. Now we're not going to go down any deeper than we need to tack it going in, because you don't want to connect this to your plug. All you want to do is see what your colors are going to be doing. Very lightly tack, mostly the middles, because you can move either end as you work with this. La 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 la. Okay. Da 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 da. Don't want to put you over there like that. Nah, I don't think so. I'll drag you over this away. And you are looking kind of scraggly, so I'm going to put you down real good. Not deep now. Don't want to go through the other side, wreck up your inside. If you don't want to do it in loops and swirls and you want to do it dibs and dabs, you can try something like this. Watch. like that. Won't hurt anything. Take another dab. Now it will use up more yarn, more felting this way, but get a different kind of look to the pattern. See, these tight little hard swirls. And then you lose them for a while. When you go to tighten it in, it's like, oh, I lost them. But you don't really. Once they get plastered down there and good, you'll get to see the swirls again. Okay. I'm going to take this one. Place it across there. You want to go back and forth across your work. If it's all in one direction, then when you start tightening it down, all the grains going in one direction, they'll start separating and you'll have stripes. And you have to go back and fill in the stripes. I learned that on the last little hat I was working on. I made myself a just for me on purpose hat. I sleep with my chair facing the window because that's the only way it can go. And this means that I have the afternoon sun coming in on my face when I'm trying to take my nap. I don't like that. So I made it myself a hat. And since this only happens in summer, in the winter, the sun doesn't come in directly in that window. And in the summer, it's hot. And I can't see me wearing a nice warm woolen hat when it's hot. Duh. So I made an open top hat. It's got all the rim except about this much is open on top. And the bill goes clear down to my chin. No back, just the bill in front goes clear down to my chin and covers my face without touching it, which I appreciate. It's not like I could lay a scarf or something across my face because I'd be breathing it. Wouldn't like that. And it works out just great. I did a very good job of tightening it down on the inside and the back because that's against the seat. And the front I made in little wisps, almost like hair trailing down, except it's a dark purple, which is odd. If it was hair. I mean, no offense to anybody if your hair's purple or yellow or green, but I think it was an odd color for hair. There we go. You see what I'm doing here. Okay. Getting pretty good coverage. Now I'm going to have to stop and do some more poofing. Because I'm out of poofs. My last poof. No, I got one more. Okay. I'm going to make some more poofs and then we're going to go down the sides to meet the edges. I think you can do the front on your own as far as the undercoat. It's the same principle. You're going to start with the edge like we did out here. Then you're going to go down to it from the top. Okay, I'm going to go make some more poofs and I'll be back. You finish what you're doing and then make you some more poofs, and we'll come back and work on the sides to the rim and then the brim, and then we're going to start working on bringing the little sides up. Okay, see you in a bit. Alrighty, next patch of whisk is ready. Alright, you guys, how are you liking your project so far? You can tweak and peek it forever. In fact, after you think it's finalized, you'll probably come back and say, oh, I could do a little here, I could put a whisk there. That's got a little hole in it. I want that straightened out, I want that turned. And just keep peeking at it until you're happy with it. You don't ever have to make a hat and not be happy with it. You just do it until you're happy. Now this one, I think I'm going to see which is the best. This seems to be the more solid end. I'll put this here. Stay where I put you. Set, push, set, push. There we go. Got good coverage. Now what are you doing down here? I want you that way or that way? I'll think about it later. Right now I'm going to stick it up. And this one's going to come I think I'll do it that way. There we go. Come here, you. There we go. Set, push, set, push, set, push, set, push, set, push. I really don't want to tweak my thumb. Not fun. Okay. Got some thin spots over here. I'll be doing a lot of tweaking on the roof. I can see a thin spot there. Well, there for sure. Okay. Now, how about there? Most of this part is just the artsy crafty in you. There's no real technique because everybody's idea of a pattern is different. Everybody's idea of style is different. I might crisscross that. Do I want to? Yeah, I think I'll crisscross that. That looks kind of cool. I'm going to go off and review my footage You guys go on and finish what you're doing, or what we've been doing, going down to your edge. This doesn't have real good coverage here, so I'm going to take a wisp right there. Because the wisp can be trained down into what direction you have your main piece going. Yeah, that's better. Bring it down here, take off the extra. And go right there. There we go. Okay. Covered up an area that was thin. You don't have to put a big piece on it. You can just put a thin wisp on and make sure it goes in the same direction you're working on. Okay? You go ahead and finish. I'm going to review my footage and I'll be back. By the way, watching somebody else do all this is kind of boring, so I'm going to go ahead and do the side, and when I come to the front, I'll come back, okay? Okay. Now, work my way around to the bill. I'm going to put some general coverage in here and then go back and put my other stuff in. So, the general coverage does not have to be solid. It does not have to be directional. It is underneath so that when you put your solids on, you don't have to worry about what they're doing. My bottom covered here. Away from your fingers, people. Fingers do not like it when you do stuff like this. See, my thumb is well inside, in back of my fingers, and I can see where my fingers are. Make sure this is covered good. I don't need you yet. We'll get a turn. It's funny talking to you guys when I do this. I usually talk to the hat and the wool and the needle and my fingers, telling them to stay out of the way. Okay. You're going to come around that way. Just that, these dim and those. Okay. Now. That little spot. It's going to be right in there. And it's going to need some coverage. Now, I can put you on, Charlie. you go up there. Now, what are you going to do? You're going to come here like that, or you're going to come here like that? Maybe you can go over and join that guy. You guys can both go that way. And you can come up here and cover that little bit and cross over here. How about that? I think that'll look okay when I finalize it. If you want anything really distinctive, use your little one to stick it where you want it. You'll have to come back and redo it once you've finalized it down in there good. Keep going back with your little needle and reinforcing the curls you want, or the blotches, or the swirls. The hardest part would be if you wanted it generically smooth. You'd have to put really light wisps down one after the other, crossing each other. And then after you finalize it, you wouldn't be able to see any pattern. That'd be hard. Okay, so I'm going to piddle around with this. We'll come back and put the edges up and put any other dark ones we want on. Okay? One more little tip. While you're finalizing your top, you come back with your enforcer. And you find the brim, the edge of the brim, with the inside of the enforcer. You pull your top color up along that edge. Like that. See how much lower this is? And find your brim, bring it up. That. Now if you find an edge, a part that's where it's lighter and it needed to be a little dark, you can comb some of this down like that if you need to. Comb it down on your edge. And if it still looks light, just take your outside and make sure it's going to cover it and don't worry about it. So you want to do this. Find your edge. Find your edge. Pack it down good. And then go back and work on your finalizing. Still doing it light. You don't have to do it heavy and you don't have to go all the way through. This isn't solid, like a solid figurine where you can go clear down to the core if you need to. You have a different color on the back, so you want to make sure your strokes stay shallow and slanted. Do it from several different directions. Go back and finalize with your enforcer on the edge. Now you will be refinalizing the edge when we put these wisps up, but you want it pretty well done with the top color before you add the bottom. It's a lot less complicated that way. I'm sticking it under and almost parallel to the base. And notice, not like this, not like that, not like that, but parallel and up under it. So it's going into your rim and not underneath. Okay? So have a nice straight rim all the way around where you want your front and back to meet. Okay, on part 3 we're going to come back and we're going to work on how to design the outside. I'll be showing you some design elements, things to try, things to get your thought processes going. So I will see you in part 3, designs.